Hello and welcome on Thomas Geiger Car. Today with the next generation Mercedes GLE. About 3 months before the car will have its world debut at the Paris Auto Show and about half a year before it will hit the roads, we are here in the US close to the Tuscaloosa factory joining the engineers on their final development drives. So if you want to know what to expect from the competitor of the next generation BMW X5 and the Range Rover Sport, stay tuned and I'll tell you more about it. Already from the passenger seat you can realize the big achievements that Mercedes made with the new suspension and the electrical engines in every wheel, because the car really reads the road and is very comfortable and it carves along, so you don't have any tilt movements anymore. You don't hear anything from that suspension, but it's just like a magic carpet ride on a country road. It's very stable on a highway, and if you go off-road, the car is really comfortable and is crawling like a cat. It's not like a donkey in the mountains, it's more like a cat, very smooth, very easy going over rocks and through ditches. So it's broadened the capabilities of the vehicle very much. The electrical ABC suspension offers some major benefits while off-road, since you can start the electric engines on every wheel individually. You can raise and lower the car and position it like you want. It's perfect if you got stuck in sand or in off-road, and it looks pretty cool if you do it on a regular road. It's more like a high-tech lowrider. As we see here, you can easily adjust, and you can adjust every wheel by its own, about 10 centimeters up and down, so you really get rid once you're stuck. And it really looks crazy if you do it on the boulevard instead of the off-road terrain. As you see, there is not much to see from the interior because it's also heavily camouflaged. But if you look at the Mercedes A-Class, you'll get a pretty good idea how the GLE will look like. Just a bit more refined and a bit more mature. But we will have the big glossy display with the touchscreen and the digital instruments, and we will have the speech recognition system MBUX that is as good as Apple's Siri. What I already can tell you is something about the engines. The GLE will start with a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder petrol engine with 380 horsepower and a 48-volt mild hybrid system. It will get, for the US and for China, a 2-liter petrol engine with about 240-250 horsepower. And for sure, there are going to be diesel engines for the rest of the world a little bit later. We will get the V8 from the S-Class as a standard model and as an AMG model. And there's also a plug-in hybrid in the pipeline, but most probably not before 2020. The car is still heavily camouflaged, so I can't tell you much about the design details. But you already see it has grown dramatically. 10 centimeters more wheelbase means more space in the interior and a bolder appearance on the road. Also, it is sleeker. Less lines, more sculpture means more elegance and more efficiency. The engineer told me the drag coefficient will be at 0.29. Makes this car the sleekest and most probably the most efficient SUV in the segment. You cannot only feel the difference to the outgoing model while driving the GLE, you also feel it as a passenger, especially once you sit at the back seat, because the 10 centimeters more wheelbase really gives you a lot more legroom. You sit as comfortable as in an S-Class on the back seat, and the back seat is electrically adjustable. It moves for about 10-15 centimeters and really gives you a good way to adjust legroom or luggage space. And the trunk is so big that Mercedes for the first time offers a 7-seater option. Not really necessary, because roughly half a year after the GLE there will be a new GLS, and that's gonna be a proper 7-seater then. Thanks for joining me on that first ride with the prototypes of the new Mercedes GLE. Even from the passenger seat you can realize that the car will make a big step forward, which is necessary because the main competitor, BMW X5, is coming as a brand new vehicle as well. Not sure yet which one will win the battle, but definitely sure the next year is going to be a very interesting year for the luxury SUV segment. Thank you, Tschüsschen, and bye-bye.